Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Convo. Today we'll be discussing Xmen Age of Apocalypse. Oh wait, not the comic, the movie. Oh god.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh boy. Xmen Age of Apocalypse, Vic. Again, we know we're a little bit behind on these reviews, but again, we're a new channel. We're trying new things. We're trying to catch up, and we decided to finally catch up on a Marvel movie. And we know a lot of you are thinking that Marvel to us is infallible, but this may be the review to change your minds on that. Now, going in, I have to say the only X-Men movie that I kind of liked from the whole franchise with Fox was 2. X2 was the only one that I felt overall was a movie that I enjoyed, even though there were some things that I felt were a little kind of astray from the comics. I still felt overall there were moments that I was like, okay, I enjoyed this film. First Class, I thought was good if it wasn't an X-Men movie. If this was called Superheroes of the 70s, I thought it'd be a pretty good film. But as an X-Men movie, not really feeling it. I felt like, again, it was just too straying away from the comics. But it's, again, like, had it not been an X-Men movie, I thought it was a good superhero film. Other than that, I did not like any of the other X-Men films. So going into it, I guess I was trying to at least stay positive, even though I knew I wasn't going to like it, but I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt. We've been surprised before. I mean, we just had a episode before we talked about Deadpool, and we were like, all right, we thought Deadpool wasn't going to be good. We go in, oh, wow, surprise. No, this is bad. I didn't like it. So that's just my history of going into this film, because supposedly this is supposed to be the final chapter, starting from X-Men First Class to now. That's their trilogy. So it's X-Men First Class, Days of Future Past, and now this, which is the last part of that trilogy. Why don't you let the people know what you thought about overall the franchise from Fox leading up to this movie?
I mean, it's like you said, like the only one I thought was decent was the second one.
Yeah.
And at the time, I thought the second one was really good.
Yeah.
Because at that time, there wasn't that many comic book movies. There wasn't like that much to go off of.
True.
And I felt like, whoa, this is a success. A lot of people liked the first one. I didn't like the first one at all. Like there was some stupid shit that was going on in the film, but I'm surprised no one's ever caught. Like the Magneto coming down with the wires and stuff. I don't know how anybody missed that. Like I thought that was really bad editing. And like I don't know what was going on with that. But like when it came to like X2, yeah, like the story I felt was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I felt like it would be better if it wasn't an X-Men film. I still didn't feel like it was an X-Men film.
Yeah.
Still felt like it was a Wolverine film. Now with this one, it was like the guy was hardly ever in there. But the time he was in there, like it was clear and evident that this is the man's favorite character.
Yeah. That's the studio's favorite. They love them the Wolverine.
Yeah, I mean, well, Wolverine or is it Hugh Jackman? I'm confused on what they really love, or is just a combination of both?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think they like the character Wolverine because they feel he's easy to sell because he's aggressive. He's the anti-bat, he's the anti-hero that people like now, or that people have been liking for the past couple of years. So it's easy to sell Wolverine. I think Singer likes Wolverine because he's easier in his mind, or at least from what I see, he's easier to tell a story about, in the sense of his powers are regeneration and claws come out.
Yeah, I mean,
there's nothing else that he has to do to show that type of force or that type of power other than, oh, I'm getting shot and I'm getting healed. Oh, I'm stabbing you. Oh, I'm throwing you around. It's a lot easier to show that character than a more complicated character that has complicated powers. So I felt like that whole scene where, I know we're kind of jumping from, but whatever, this is freeform, but when Wolverine came out and started fighting people, I was like, oh, okay, this is a pretty interesting fight sequence. He's like cutting people up, he's stabbing them, he's throwing them around. I was like, oh, it looks like they put a lot of time and effort into this choreograph. They're using his powers, to the best of their abilities or what they think. And I'm like, but then again, this is Wolverine's powers, is again healing and fighting. Like, it's very easy to do that. And yeah. I think it was clearly shown, throughout the whole movie, where Apocalypse's powers were kind of all over the place.
I mean,
Quicksilver's powers are all over the place. Like,
I mean, everybody's powers. Like, he didn't know how to. And just like you said, anybody who wasn't like, and I call a physical character.
yeah,
Like, I feel like the Hulk, he'll be able to show the Hulk because he's more of a physical character. Like, we'll show him being strong, hitting somebody.
yeah.
And even when it comes to even showing stuff like that, I feel like he's not he's not successful even doing that.
Yeah.
Because you know, I'm thinking about a Colossus. He shows him like getting big, showing getting strong, and pushes some like those two soldiers through the wall and stuff. But he doesn't actually show him like pushing them through the wall. Like I feel like this is really lost on translation.
Yeah.
And then you come to think about like that Superman film he did. He didn't really show him utilize his powers too much because I think it really falls on. I think he's very confused.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I think he's very confused.
I don't think he knows how to use it.
I mean, like Cyclops, his powers are pretty simple too, but he doesn't know how to utilize that. Like he's very like lost when it comes to these characters. When he's lost to a character, I see him like really just abandon that character. He has no clue how to use.
Well, it's too. It's either he abandons them or he gives them powers that he feels is good visually, or just kind of something like
it's like
he's like, all right, you got this power. All right, now you're just gonna blow up a tree, or you're gonna blow up a like. It's just like easy stuff. Like it's too complicated. Just you do this.
Yeah,
you know that's just what
like,
you do.
Like imagine like looking at Paca's bio. Pac was this, that, and it's just overwhelming for him. So he's like, you know what? I think this is a character that does anything I want him to do.
Anything I want him,
You know what I'm saying? So he's going to go ahead and disintegrate people. He's going to go ahead and make them one with the earth. He could go ahead and teleport. You know what I'm saying? Like he was giving this man
everything.
Anything he could kind of think of. You know, and it's very weird. You know what I'm saying? How he goes about, like, and to think about it, I think for him it's real simple. Just do research. I think anybody at this time and at this point needs to do an X-Men film. It's real simple to do research. If you don't want to read the comic books, which I always suggest, go back to source material, go back to the comic books. Then the most accurate depiction of the X-Men has been the animated series. Look at the animated series, dummy. It's not that hard. If you look at the animated series, you'll see what Apocalypse does, what he's capable of doing. Like I see me, you know, he gave him the ability to increase his mass and stuff. Okay, he does that. Okay, you know he can't teleport and stuff.
But didn't he only do that when he was fighting X in the mine? Like
Well, over here he did it when he was fighting him in the astral plane, which goes back to another utilization of powers. You're Professor Xavier. You're the most powerful mind in that entire world. Okay. This is your world. The astral plane, he's like almost like his batting average is insane, even amongst other telepaths. Like the only person who's like for long as I seen actually really hold his own against Xavier in the astral plane was Nathan Gray or Xmen. And he was actually losing that fight with Xavier. He actually had to go ahead and use his powers to remove himself from the astral plane. He was actually that was no way a feat he showed. He was actually able to remove himself from the astral plane to not continue to fight with him because he was losing that fight. And this was Xavier when he was damn near Onslaught at that time. So he was like really the first engaged character to actually fight Onslaught. But aside from that, I just saw that whole thing and I'm like, okay, you're Xavier. Like you're not gonna think creative, like more creative. Like your most like creative thing you're thinking of doing is to hit Apocalypse. Like I'm gonna keep hitting you. I'm gonna keep hitting you. I'm gonna keep going ahead and I'm gonna do that. Xavier, you could do anything your mind envisions. You could construct anything out of your mind. You could use all the X-Men's powers. I mean, it's not really hard to do like a Rolodex and stuff. Let me see which ones to use. I'm gonna use Scott's right here. I'm gonna go ahead and use telekinesis right here, Jeans. I'm gonna go use Magnetos right here. I'm gonna use Mystiques right here. I'm gonna use Beasts right here. I'm gonna use Havocs right here. I mean, you could do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, even freaking Green Lantern showed more creativity in his film than he did.
Yeah.
And this is his world. He could do anything, and yet you're getting handled in your world by Apocalypse. Now, Apocalypse is very good in the astral plane as well. He gives Xavier's problems when he's in that fight, but not like to this extent.
Yeah.
Like it should have been a lot more evenly matched between the two of them. Yeah. But it shouldn't require for Jean Grey to come out there and go Phoenix on his ass, which goes back to like that whole thing. Well, I'm gonna get to the Phoenix in a minute.
Well, why don't we break down the characters, because there are a lot of returning characters and there are a lot of new characters that are in this film that I feel like we need to talk about, because a lot of that will kind of springboard to the other things we find wrong with the movie. But like we always do from last time, what's the one thing that you like? Because obviously you know right now this is not going to be a positive review. Yeah. This is going to be a very negative review. So what I always like to do is, what's the one thing, or what are things that you did like about X-Men Age of Apocalypse. I'll start mine. My only thing really to me was shit. Maybe the Wolverine scene. I thought that was pretty cool.
I didn't even like that scene. No. You thought that because you thought that whole thing with that. I actually thought after think about the Wolverine scene now at this point.
Yeah.
We've seen Captain America. We've seen Black Panther.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Now Wolverine as a character, is this what people are they don't understand about him because he hasn't shown
so
this.
Deprived of
Okay.
what he could be. Yeah.
Captain America and Winter Soldier compared to Captain America, the first Avenger. People didn't know, like, damn, he's actually pretty strong.
That's
As
true.
a matter of fact, people got the first taste of that in the first Avengers film.
Yeah.
I didn't know Captain America do that. Like, he's pretty strong, this and that. Yeah, because when you got a director doesn't know how to utilize powers, case in point, the director for First Avenger versus the director Joss Whedon for Avengers versus the director, brothers. for Civil War and stuff and Winter Soldier. Okay, Wolverine is physically as adept as Captain America. See, the thing about it is this: he has the adamantium skeleton. Everybody knows about his healing factor.
Yeah.
So think about it. His healing factor helps him regenerate. When you're training in martial arts and stuff, when people take steroids, people are bodybuilding and doing this. When they're taking steroids, people don't know like, oh, it makes them stronger. What it's really doing is having their body recover quicker. So the more they could recover, their body could heal itself. They could go ahead and get stronger because the longer they could last in the gym. Wolverine has the ultimate regenerating ability. Yeah. So imagine how strong he's getting. His body will never have muscle failure because he could just keep pushing himself and pushing himself and pushing himself to that absolute limit.
True.
Okay? Then on top of that, think about the movie Unbreakable with Bruce Willis, right? The movie sucked. I didn't like it. But there was a scene in the film where he's going ahead and he's bench pressing. And it's like he's putting plates on there. Now, why was he able to sustain all that weight?
Because even as the muscles tear, they're repairing themselves.
Also because he's super dense.
Right.
So he could just go ahead and stiff arm something without ripping any muscles, without damaging his bones.
True.
Wolverine has an adamantium skeleton.
Oh, so he could.
But does the same thing.
Up, yeah.
So think about it like this. Physically, he could push himself and run as fast as he wants because he won't tire out. Right. Okay. Physically, he could go ahead and push his muscles to the limits and stuff to make him so stronger than what a normal human will ever be.
True.
Okay, he's able to do that. So technically, he's physically wise, he's up there with Captain America and that of a Black Panther.
Wow.
He's as fast, he's as strong as they are. Okay, but he's able to recover a lot quicker than they are.
Okay.
Okay, that's him.
Wow.
So we have not seen that. So what you see is really a strong guy, not strong guy like a mutant strong, but we're seeing like a physically strong guy as Hugh Jackman strong doing this. What we're not seeing is Wolverine strong, Wolverine fast, okay, Wolverine primal. We're not seeing this. So no, after I told you the first X-Men, the second X-Men, I said I love the second X-Men in the sense that that's before all the other comic book movies came out. Now we're seeing better utilizations of powers and stuff.
Better storylines, better.
Not just the storylines, but like mainly the utilization of powers. Now that's not gonna go ahead and suffice anymore.
Yeah.
Now if this was the same Wolverine from the Wolverine was losing his powers, I could see him moving at this type. But even still, all that muscle, all that memory from all that harsh, intensive training and stuff.
I mean, he's Weapon X.
He's Weapon X. He's a soldier.
So he should even be more.
They pushed him beyond belief. So he's a special forces soldier with a mutant's ability that he has. It's just insane. His level should be at, but he's not. They haven't been able to show this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, literally, the guy's 5'3" and he could dunk a basketball. So he's only, I mean, people forget that because they always look at Hugh Jackman like Hugh Jackman is like 6 feet tall and stuff. And he could dunk a basketball too, probably because he's tall. You know what I'm saying? He's not that far from the rim.
Supposed to be scrappy,
Wolverine,
small, scrappy guy.
Listen, I'm a short guy. I could never dunk a basketball, you know? Wolverine's actually shorter than me, and he could dunk a basketball over my head easily and not and you know and clear me easily. I mean, Wolverine, because the way he's built. It's the way he's built and because of his powers. So when it comes back to that, I take away a point from that.
All right. So I mean, that was the only that was the only really positive thing that I saw. Other than that, I really was just like, not really. Now, well, we'll get into why, but yeah, I saw that was my positive, which is now negative, but yeah.
Now mine had nothing to do with powers or anything like that. It's actually the very opening intro, which is probably the only thing I actually liked at the end of Days of Future Past.
Right.
I came out of Days of Future Past. I hated it with a passion.
Yeah.
Then I see the very
ending.
end credits and stuff. You see Apocalypse. He's coming. People are worshiping him. They're bowing down. They're doing this and stuff. And you see him like lifting his arms up, and he's building like the pyramids and stuff. You see in the backdrop the 4 horsemen. I was like, wow, this is really a great scene. It's the only scene that was good. It was only for like a minute long. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 2 minutes at max. You know. And then I was like, such a great scene. Did it even get me excited to see the movie? No, because I just saw this shit movie. I'm like, but they're going to mess him up. Right. They're going to mess up Apocalypse because they messed up Magneto. You know what I'm saying? They messed up the Sentinels. You know, they mess up all these characters. It doesn't matter who they use. They're going to mess them up. So I thought the very intro was similar to like the end of that the Days of Future Past film when they showed that clip of Apocalypse and stuff.
Okay.
And I actually liked it because you had that music and stuff. It was like that. Dun, 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 dun. It kind of reminded me of I'm trying to think of God of War. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like that, like like the score of it and stuff. Like it was very kind of dramatic, and it like made me feel like
it's a classical,
cool. Like Apocalypse is here. Okay, now you guys gonna have to continue with this, flow with that, take that same kind of momentum and go with it. Then they showed the scenes how the Egyptians did that clever way of going ahead and getting rid of him and stuff. So I thought that was pretty interesting and stuff, and you saw his 4 horsemen and stuff, you know, and I thought, okay, these are real interesting characters. It'd be nice if they kind of have them be the 4 horsemen in this, but I know they're not gonna be,
right?
You know, because they don't have like his immortality ability like he has. So I understand that. Then you saw him all get killed off, and she's protecting him and stuff. I'm like, well, technically, she doesn't need to protect him from that because he's so super dense. But technically, that would have fell on him. It should have not had killed him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this dude here survived a beatdown from the Hulk, you know what I'm saying? And whatnot. I mean, if you're capable of taking a punch from the Hulk and finding some of these other super, like, strong characters, falling debris on top of your head shouldn't mean shit, you know what I'm saying? But, of course, you know, this is Bryan Singer. He doesn't understand this. He doesn't understand it. He needs someone to protect him.
Yeah.
Even, you know, I understand they were doing the body transfer at that point, and he wasn't fully, like, Apocalypse yet.
Yeah. Insert powers. Insert somebody with powers to have it on screen to make it look interesting.
But I thought that was a decent scene. Like, I love that whole like that music. And so I was actually on my phone trying to Shazam, and I'm like kept rewinding and stuff, Shazamming it, rewinding, and it wasn't popping up for some reason. So I'm gonna have to like go ahead and IMDb and find out what the score is and stuff. And
I think it still might be the same person. I'll send. Yeah, I think it might. I think it was the same person who scored all of his Xmen films. I think it's the same guy.
Yeah, I was like, you know, next time I go for a run, I'm gonna use this scene right here. No, forget about the scene. It's like,
the music.
I might take the anger from that and like have it motivate me for like a good run, you know. But
so that was it. That was it.
That's all they brought to the table. After that, everything else was just downhill.
All right,
you know,
so
introduce Cyclops and stuff.
So let's get to that. Let's get to the nitty gritty. So we gave you the positive. Now it's time for the negative. So let's break it down by characters. 'Cause I feel like the root of a lot of this stuff that we're going to talk about are characters. So let's start off with the main character of this whole movie, which is Apocalypse. We were kind of already talked about that. My big beef was this. I felt that now I really like Oscar Isaacs as an actor. I feel he's a phenomenal actor. I liked him in Ex Machina. Phenomenal actor. I liked him in Star Wars, you know, for whatever that's worth. But him cast as the version that they had this Apocalypse play, I felt was way too corny, way too theatrical for its own good. Like, I felt like they did what you said they should have done, but they didn't try to translate it like the cartoon did. Like, I felt somebody watched the 90s cartoon and it was like, Apocalypse talks like this. So they transferred that and we're like, okay, Oscar Isaacs, everything you're going to say is going to be overly over the top, borderline B movie delivery. Because everything was like, my child, everything I've done for you is dot, 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 dot. And
well, it made him sound like more like a fucking vampire than Apocalypse. Because the 90s version, I remember Apocalypse.
No, but I'm saying like,
yeah, like that deep, like present, like kind of voice and stuff. I liked a lot. You know?
But I feel like they took that and was like, oh, okay, let's translate to that's how he should talk using Oscar Isaac's voice and like some voice modulator that they started using every once in a while. Like he would scream and his voice would change or whatever. But I felt like I never felt that character was ominous, which was the point of specifically Apocalypse, was to
Like
be
what they give
this,
you at the end of the film.
yeah.
And,
Well, not
the
only that,
beginning
it's
of
like
this
when
one.
you look at the comic, when you look at the one sheet or one page of Apocalypse, it's this big, huge, massive, monster-looking person that, when you find out how intelligent he is even more fearful, because you're like, not only does this dude look like a monster, but the way he's talking is so specific and smart that it scares you on how intellectually fearful this guy can be. And when you get this Ivan Uzi creature type of Apocalypse, like, I just didn't buy it. Like, at some points he looked like an old man in a costume, just walking around. Other points he just looked like a really just bad acting of a villain. Like, I just, every single scene, I was just like, man, this is like chalkboard. This is nails on a chalkboard. And I know he can do better than that. But again, it's like, they should have had a better costume for him. And we saw a video where I forget the name. I think it's Ironhide Studios. I'm sorry, I'm getting it wrong, but it's basically the team of costume makers and weapon makers that Hollywood goes to now. Like, he's done Loki's staff and helmet. He's done Tron Legacy. He's done Iron Man. And the person, I forget the guy's name, will post it out afterwards, but he had said that he was already doing stuff for Age of Apocalypse, and he thought that they were going to come to him from Apocalypse itself, that character. They never did. They hired somebody else, and that's who you got. But if you check out the video, he actually shows you his version of the costume, and it looks just like Apocalypse from the comic books. And he even said it. He's like, it was masked. It was made from mold of Oscar Isaac's face, and he could move his mouth, and the eyes lit up. I was like, that, if that was the character, I would be more forgiving of the way he spoke, because it's like, well, if it's coming from that dude, then shit, I better be afraid. But if it's coming from whatever version that was, it was just like, no, that's not how it is. And it's just like, when I didn't know what his powers were, like, when every scene he was doing something different, I couldn't grasp it. I was like, I don't know who this villain really is, and I don't buy that this villain is fearful. Like, yeah, his eyes go white sometimes, and yeah, when he screams, sometimes he has that voice modulator. But other than that, it was just like you said, like, that's a pretty good analogy, because I was like, he sounds like he's trying to be evil. He sounds like a snake, or like, yeah, vampire. Sounds like he's a vampire. Yeah. So for me, for that character, that just took me 100% out, and that's the main character of this movie. So throughout the whole movie, every scene he was in, I was like, oh, here we go with the damn soap opera acting, Ivan Ooze looking, it's painful. So that was me. I know you have more about the powers as well. You were saying, like, Apocalypse's powers were kind of...
Yeah, I mean, listen, Apocalypse has a lot of powers and stuff. There's no doubt about that. But, like, over here, it's like I said, the director just seemed like he just didn't know, like, what his powers were.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you one example and stuff is when he was fighting Quicksilver. Quicksilver's going super fast.
Oh, we'll get to it.
Yeah, that's... He's cracking him. Now, Quicksilver has the strength and physicality that of a regular man. Like, so, but like an athletic man, of course,
right.
Because he's a sprinter, he's a runner. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's a long distance and a sprinter type runner. He's like the ultimate athlete man. Okay, so yeah, so like imagine somebody who's like really athletic but hitting somebody. Someone that athletic shouldn't be able to go ahead and hurt someone with
right.
Apocalypse capabilities, because Apocalypse is physically could take a punch from the Hulk.
Yeah.
Now the way Quicksilver was hitting him, and he was actually blocking some of his punches too. You know what I'm saying? Like his counters and stuff, and he was grabbing him and this and that, made me believe that Apocalypse wasn't superhuman. He didn't have superhuman strength for some odd reason. He didn't have that.
Yeah.
Because like I said, he's taking a punch and a beatdown from the Hulk. I seen him take a beatdown from Cable. I see him take a beatdown for Xmen. I seen him take a beatdown from a lot of people. And take an extreme optic eye blast from Cyclops, but over here he's getting hurt by Quicksilver with that.
Yeah.
Now it'd be different if Quicksilver would like come at him like a straight line, and it would generate enough force and power to kind of hit him like the way the Flash like to do with people, like do like a supersonic punch. That'd be different. But no, the punches he was hitting him were straight on punches, just using his superhuman speed to get him to his target. That was really it. Like
Right.
going around in a circle and I'm cracking you and stuff, and didn't let me believe that he was hitting with any of those kind of shots. Especially at one point when he's holds on to him and stuff, and he breaks his leg and stuff. I'm like, well, no, like you're a little stronger than what I thought you were, but you're not like superhuman strength, like
Right.
type level. Like you're showing in the astral plane fight with Xavier, when you're smashing him through walls and stuff, and in the floor, and you're pummeling him and stuff. So I'm like, he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
It's clear evidence that he doesn't understand.
Oh,
and
yeah.
also, it's also based off the way the Apocalypse in this is built like Oscar Isaac. He's not built like Apocalypse.
Yeah,
like if you look at Josh Brolin, he's a semi-big guy, but he's not as Thanos big.
Yeah.
Now you see Thanos, it's like, well, no, we're just gonna have the voice of you, really,
and the face. We'll do the face image
a little bit,
just so it looks realistic, because you don't want it to look too much like a puppet or too much
Yeah.
CGI. You want a nice blend. You want a blend of CGI and the person's face, like they did with the Hulk. Because like Hulk looks a little bit like Mark Ruffalo, because they merged Mark Ruffalo's face onto Hulk. Same thing with Josh Brolin and Thanos. Like, I don't know why they couldn't do that
a little bit. Yeah, I mean,
with this character. Is like, couldn't you just use the actual way Apocalypse looks and take Oscar Isaac's face motion? But they decided, no, we're just gonna use Oscar Isaac's body and just put a costume on him,
because it
and
goes
a
back.
face,
Yeah,
and that's it. And then you got Apocalypse.
because it goes back to this point I'm trying to make. It's actor versus character, and for Fox, for like Sony and all these other places that do these films, to them the actor is more important than the character they're playing. To them, Jennifer Lawrence is more important than Mystique. To them, Oscar Isaac is more important than Apocalypse. Now, I know you're hiring Oscar Isaac. I know you're hiring Jennifer Lawrence. I know you're hiring James McAvoy. I understand you're hiring these guys, but they're playing a character. You're hiring them to play a character, but it seems like they're tailoring everything around the actors. I mean, it seems like that's what they were doing. So they wanted Apocalypse to look like Oscar Isaac instead of having Oscar Isaac look like Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it came back down to. Speaking of which, like Jennifer Lawrence is a prime example.
Let's go on to Mystique. What about Mystique?
How often was she Mystique? I'm confused. She was
three scenes or three
that she was in a full like
Mystique.
blue costume and stuff, like the blue looking thing.
Did she even fight in this movie? Like, it's so funny. In the first two movies, like, I remember her being like all athletic and fighting. In this movie, I can't remember her if she even used any of that.
The chick who's playing her, she clearly did not want to be in the film.
Yeah.
I mean, Jennifer Lawrence has went out there and said multiple times she want to get out of her contract. She doesn't want to be in the film. She doesn't like the hours and the long processing that it takes to put her in the thing. And I understand it's a pain in the ass, but you're still getting paid millions of dollars for moments of inconvenience.
Yeah.
Okay. Still, this is also a fan film. It's supposed to be a fan film. Okay, there are people out there like myself, okay, like you, who read the comic book, grew up watching the animated series, who love these characters, who love the story of what the X-Men is about, and you're gonna translate this, chick. Show like you give a damn. And then this fact that you're getting paid millions of dollars to play this character, play it good, play it well. I don't want to hear about any of this. Oh, I don't even want to be in. I want to get out of my contract. That's what it goes back to: actor versus character.
Well, I think
Jennifer Lawrence as an actor, she's not as important as Mystique the character.
Well, I think. But here's the thing. I feel like the problem with that also is that they made Mystique the main character in an X-Men film, which to me was so weird seeing that this like. I noticed it the X-Men First Class. I noticed it X-Men Age of Apocalypse. But this one in particular, I was like, I don't really care about these characters because Cyclops, Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, they're all accessories. They even say in the movie, it's like, oh, you're the hero. We look up to you. I'm like, what world am I living in that I'm in an X-Men movie and Mystique is the main character in this movie. I mean,
somebody might say, "Oh, it's refreshing to see it not be about Wolverine, or AKA Hugh Jackman."
That's fine.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's fine.
And
but
listen, I'm glad that he was hardly in the film because I'm like sick of Hugh Jackman, not Wolverine, Hugh Jackman being Wolverine.
Yeah.
But I'm also sick to death of her. Her character in the other X-Men films she wasn't this widely used like that.
Yeah, it's so weird.
She was a supporting character, but over here it's because the actor Jennifer Lawrence is the biggest draw there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? She's done the Hunger Games, she's done all this. She's gonna be on a lot of big movies like in the future. I understand that.
Which, by the way, I get why she's so probably fed up. I mean, again, it goes to your point, like, you still got to act, but
still, you got a job to do.
It's so funny that even in this film, I'm like, you could easily just take her out from some of these lines and some of her acting from this film and put it in Hunger Games, and you're like, it's the same thing. So I get why she's probably fed up. She's like, it's the same story, it's the same thing, but it's like you said, you still got a job to do.
You still got a job to do. Yeah. I mean, listen, when I was in the military,
mind you, she's not really given that good of a script to begin with anyway. So it's not like she fucked up the script. The script was trash to begin with.
Well, listen, like I said, I was in the military, and when I was getting out the military the first time, okay, I had the short timer attitude, like I wanted to get out and stuff. But I did my job. I did my duty. Okay? And mind you, I'm not getting paid $1 million to do that. Yeah. I'm not. Like what was I getting paid? I was getting paid my basic salary. Okay? Yeah. You're getting paid millions of dollars. Everybody's gonna want to watch you. Everybody wants to go in and be you, chick. Okay? Everybody wants to be with you.
Well, that's why she's got the main star in that.
I mean, but it goes back to that. It's like, come on, give a damn and shit. She was hardly Mystique and stuff. She's mainly Jennifer Lawrence, whatever.
Yeah.
Jennifer Garner is another one in that Elektra film. I don't even want to get into that.
But yeah, so her character, again, it's just like, I didn't get it. She was, back, but she didn't want to be back.
She's not a main X-Men. It's like everybody's seen these films, like who've never seen the anime series, who never read the comic books. Mm-hmm. They think that this is like the main X-Men. Yep. I remember at the end of the film, they're doing that whole she's the
training them. Yeah, she's training them.
They took that scene from Age of Ultron and stuff, where at the end Captain America, he's over here talking to Black Widow, and she's like, okay, let's go introduce the rookies. Let's talk about the crew and stuff. Yeah. And she's doing the recruitment speech.
Yeah.
They took that scene and they put her in there. I'm like, whoa, you're not Captain America, chick. Your character has never been Captain America.
Yeah, it's so
Your
weird.
character is probably the most selfish character in Marvel history and stuff. And you're gonna be the one giving them like the good old boy like recruitment speech, like let's get together as a team and stuff.
Training
let's
them.
do this.
What is she training them on? That's what I don't get. I'm like,
stupidest thing ever.
What is she? Why is she the one to train the X-Men? Like, I'm very confused.
Which goes back because at the end of the day, I think he really hates the Cyclops character because I've seen a lot of like jabs thrown at him. Let's go with him and stuff.
All right, let's talk about Cyclops. So here's my thing overall of what I felt about Bryan Singer doing these movies. Even though there's a new Cyclops, I still felt it was the same Cyclops we've gotten.
He
before.
took a jab at him. He was like the other Cyclops. Like he was intimidated by Wolverine. Hopefully, we don't get to see him again. Wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what's gonna happen with you? He's gonna try to take your chick, dude. Yeah. And he didn't know how to utilize him, like his optic blast. Cyclops, people don't even know this. Okay, even more so than the anime series even shown. Yeah. In the comic books, he is so OD important. This is the guy who removed Professor X from the X-Men, okay? This is the guy who led the X-Men against the Dark Avengers, okay? This is the guy who literally, like, even Captain America, who most characters take cues from Captain America, he takes cues from Cyclops in the newest version of the comic book series, okay? Wow. This character is so important. Because why? Because he was a rookie at first, okay? Yeah. And from early on in the first X-Men, like when they ever had like the first comic book series of the X-Men, like first year, like year one, okay, they had the X-Men versus the Avengers. In the team, Cyclops has his team go up against the Avengers, led by Captain America.
Right.
It had Thor in it, had Iron Man in it, had Giant Man and a Wasp in it, versus Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Iceman, and Angel. Okay. And meanwhile, this is the B team technically versus the A team, and they held their own with them.
Wow.
He led that team to hold their own with the damn Avengers. You know what I'm saying? Like the greatest team like in Marvel has. You know what I'm saying? Probably second to the Fantastic Four. So I think they're the best. Yeah. You know, but Earth's mightiest heroes, and he led them against them, and he held their own against them, and he showed that he's as capable a leader. Okay, and this is just him in the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, and so imagine him in 10 years, 15 years down the road, how good he ended up being. Okay, because this is the Captain America already fought in World War II, was leading the Avengers against the craziest threats to Earth and stuff. Okay,
and you had Scott Summers,
18 years old. He was only 18 years old at that time, going ahead and leading his team against an experienced team like the Avengers, against an experienced team like the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. You know what I'm saying? Led by Magneto. Okay. This is that guy who held that team together for all those years, who developed as a leader, okay? Not just that, but also as a combatant too. This guy was so good as a combatant. He literally fought the entire X-Men at one point and stuff by himself and whatnot. He technically he didn't win and stuff, but he fought them almost to a standstill by himself. And he didn't have like any updated powers. He just uses Optic Blast and his tactician ability and stuff, his strategic planning. This is how good he is, but no one knows this.
Yeah.
Okay? He went one-on-one with the Void. And people know this if if you read the comic books, you will know what I'm talking about. I can't really get into details exactly what he does because it's not about that.
Yeah.
But it just really pisses me off just how good of a character he is and how much Bryan Singer really hates him and is confused on how to use him. Because he's confused on how to use him, he doesn't want to use him and stuff as another way just to go ahead and pump up Wolverine. I mean, this is his first meeting with Jean Grey too, mind you. He's supposed to establish and found their relationship where they're eventually gonna be together. Okay,
they kind of hinted at that.
They hinted, but this is what you're supposed to get. It's the foundation.
But here's my thing with that. Is like, I get what you're saying, and now it's even clearer because that was the one thing that I felt was missing from this film. Because I felt like
there's no leadership.
There was no leader. Like
there was no leadership.
That's why at the end when it was Mystique kind of like taking over and teaching them, or
it was
when it was like Beast helping them out. Like I felt like, where's the leader? Because I feel like we're all over the place. There's not one concrete leader of the X-Men. Obviously, Professor X is the main guy.
But he's more kind of like this. He's like, think about it like if you're
he's an advisor.
No, think about it this. Like if you're a football team. Okay, you have the owner, which is Xavier. Okay, and you have the coach, which is Cyclops.
Right, and I feel like,
and then the quarterback of the team would be Storm because she's the co-leader of that team. You know what I'm saying?
In this movie
and whatnot. But actually more Cyclops is more the quarterback.
Yeah,
he's the one. He's the one out in the field.
He's a quarterback manager. He's a quarterback coach.
He's a quarterback coach.
But so it was kind of sad for me to see them introduce Cyclops as kind of this weak, I don't know my powers, and then this rebel when he was like, oh, I need to break out of here.
And he's never been that. I mean, this guy's as squeaky clean, as clean cut as Captain America or Superman is, you know? Yeah. I mean, this guy here was like when Iceman, Bobby, when he was like 16, when he was doing his thing, clown around, whatever. He's the one who's like real serious. At 18 years old, real serious. He's on training, constantly training and stuff. People don't notice. Like he's an adept boxer. He's an adept judoka and stuff from judo and stuff. And he's always honing his technique, always honing his powers, and figuring out how to go ahead and really utilize his team. Figuring out where do I put Jean? Where do I put Iceman? Where do I put Angel? Where do I put Beast? You know, I'm the first X-Men. Yeah. I'm the first. I'm the one he recruited first out of all these other guys. You know what I'm saying? Where do I fit in?
See, and I feel like that is the story that we need to tell.
I mean, this guy should have his own film. I mean, come on. At this point, he should have his own film.
And that's the problem. I think that's the problem with this film is like their version of Scott Summers wasn't like, it didn't grab me. Like I'm watching, I'm like, all right, he's a teenager who's mad that his eyes now, shooting out beams, but there was nothing leadership. There was no leadership about him, and that's where I felt like I lost it. Like I was just like, I really don't care about Scott Summers because he's just like every other mutant.
But I don't care about Bryan Singer, Scott Summers.
Well, no, that's not. But
but as far as the character goes, it's like, it's really
in the
sad.
Movie. I mean,
it's really sad to see.
In the movie, yeah.
Like what they really did to this kid and stuff.
Yeah.
And what they did to who plays him. If this is the same director, like it's always gonna be like this with his character. It's very sad, And it's like I really feel like in the next film, whatever happens, they're really gonna punk him out when Wolverine's in that picture, and he's just gonna completely take over chick. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if like him and Jean Grey don't even end up together. Yeah. I mean, what is really the point? I mean, I'm confused. And they already kind of hinted at that when she took one look at Hugh Jackman, looking at his body and stuff, and like, I got this kid here. You kidding me?
And did you see at the end they try to make the nod to the comics or to the TV show with his costume at the end when he had the visor and the blue thing? I was like, all right, well. He kind of looks like Cyclops, but again, I don't care about the character
at this point. I mean, it just goes back.
And I know a lot of people are gonna say like, "Oh, but this is the first time they're introducing him. How do you expect all of that to happen?" It's like, well, that's how you introduce the character. Is like you have to put in these foundations of his characteristics and be like, this is the type of guy that you're getting. and it would be a lot. It would have made a lot sense for him to rally the team together and be like, okay, we can do this, as opposed to him just being there. Like, I felt like he was just there, like a kid.
Yeah,
he's just a student, like just some other student that just so happens to have optic beam powers. That's it.
And which, by the way, his blasts don't burn. Like when they did with the tree and they had it on fire.
Oh, it doesn't burn?
Do it. No, it's concussive. It's concussive. It's like if I were to hit you right now, it's the same thing as that. It's just a different impact.
Oh.
It's like as if you're getting hit by the Hulk, like the force impact you're getting hit by, or well, more like the think. You know, like if you're, it's just up, like it's like a straight like punch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's just a forceful blast. Like where Superman's is heat vision.
Right.
So where it's not gonna put you through a wall. Like even me, like I can't take a punch with Superman. Superman will like fucking explode me in one punch, or put me through this wall and explode me in one punch.
Or for those of you who watch One Punch Man.
His heat vision, you know what I'm saying? If he would have hit me with it, yeah, it would burn me, it would disintegrate me and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Where Cyclops will put me through that wall. But if he were to go ahead and hit the Hulk with it, Hulk wouldn't have like this burnt mark on him and stuff. Like he wouldn't have that. It would just be like more like like a straight hard punch that could also project a push.
So wait, so does if he were to shoot his optic blast to a wall, the wall would explode, but it wouldn't go on fire?
Yeah, it would explode and go on fire just because of the forceful impact. Like,
so it's more.
Like,
I see what
it's
you're
like
saying.
let's just imagine like the Hulk or the Thing or
Punching
Colossus punching a wall, like some super strong being hitting the wall, hitting an object. It's concussive. You know what I'm saying? His optic blast is concussive, which is different than Superman's, which is heat vision. So Superman's vision would burn stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it wouldn't necessarily blow up a wall.
Okay.
It would like more like melt it, like put it on fire because it's heat. It's flames and stuff, you know. But his is concussive, so it doesn't do that. I just wanted to put that out there because a lot of like with this idiot out there doing this, like he doesn't understand. Once again, he doesn't understand that. Like he didn't do his research. Like he couldn't even at least Wikipedia the character. And the idiots who are portraying these characters, they never did the research themselves. Like but just so you know, like it's not heat vision. It's concussive.
Yeah.
You know. Like, I know you did the Superman film and you used to a character using heat vision, but it's concussive. Matter of fact, you did this character first, so you should have known this from the beginning.
Better, yeah.
You know, so just so you know, you know. But, yeah.
All right.
So that's the thing about that. And,
so what do you think about Jean Grey, we kept talking about Jean Grey? I felt like, again, acting-wise...
her powers, once again, utilization of powers. She's very powerful, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this whole Phoenix thing they're going with and stuff.
Listen, I think it's too soon. Yeah, like they introduced the Phoenix stuff a lot sooner than I thought they were going to. I was like, wow, we're already going there?
Like, he missed his opportunity with the third film, which is his fault, by the way, because he left to go do Superman to miss that up. Okay,
and then he came back. Then let Brett Ratner fucking
miss that up. Then he comes back to miss it up some more. So he missed his opportunity to do the whole Phoenix saga, which is what he was setting up for at the end of the second one to do.
Oh right, yeah.
Because remember she's in the water and stuff. You see the Phoenix like outline and someone underneath the water. So he's like, oh, now's my opportunity. Let me go ahead and do this. You know. Oh, speaking of which, people don't like being in films. He doesn't want to direct the Xmen films. That's the whole goes back to that. He really did not want to direct the Xmen. It's like, he's only really doing this because he has no choice. Like, they won't give him other projects to do because they want him to go and do this because the First Class director messed up First Class, the X-Men films. Wolverine Origins got messed up, and of course the third X-Men film got messed up. So they figure, well, he's our most successful X-Men director. We want to get you back, and before you even look at another project, we're not going to hand you it. We're going to give you this. So unfortunately, that's the thing. That's what his situation is, and you can kind of tell he doesn't give a shit when he's doing these films at this point. But when it comes back to her character, going back to that. It's his opportunity now to do Phoenix Saga. Listen, you had like one of the most greatest villains ever, which is Apocalypse. I wouldn't say he's the greatest, but he's definitely top 10. It should be on everybody's list, somewhere each of us everybody's list on top 10.
Yeah. And
you messed him up. So don't tell me you get the Phoenix, you're gonna all of a sudden start doing it better, okay? And she's a great character. Also, you're gonna mess her up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're gonna mess her up as bad as they did in the third X-Men film. You're gonna mess her up that bad. Okay, because you messed up this film. But as far as utilization of powers, the only thing I really saw her do is like catch her books, her papers when it fell. Then she finally went to Astro plane. Yeah. Then she went Phoenix on it. It's like unless she could go Phoenix, he doesn't know what to do with her. Yeah. Listen, dude, you could do the same thing with the Phoenix stuff But with her doing this, she's a very powerful character.
But I want
people
fire.
don't even know
but
that.
I want fire.
He wants to fire and stuff. He wants to do this stuff. And it's like, come on, listen. She's a very powerful character. People don't really realize that because even in the anime series, they didn't really utilize her powers all that great. Her as a character, but she's very powerful. She's strong enough without using the Phoenix Force to subdue the Juggernaut and stuff. You know.
I remember that.
She went toe to toe one time with the Thing by giving him like these images in his mind to make him think that she's hulking up on him to go to toe with him. All the while she's playing him out and stuff, keeping him in an area where the oxygen's getting depleted and stuff, and he has no clue with this, because this during contest of champions. So that's just like, check that comic book out too. It's a good one and stuff. Good read. Yeah. Always the comic books. Always go back to source material. But she's a very great character to use, and people don't really know how to. I would say people don't know. He doesn't know how to use her. Yeah. Like he does. He's clueless on how to use her.
So her powers weren't used. What about acting?
I mean, she looked like
she
Jean.
definitely looked like Jean
she got the red hair. I thought she looked better as Jean Grey than Funkin' Jensen did. I felt like there's definitely a better. I feel like they one upped it and stuff. I'm like, this should have been the type of person should have been Jean Grey from the beginning.
And her acting wasn't that bad, although the accent definitely.
The accent threw me off. I'm like, I understand. Like I think she's English.
She's British, yeah. She's British.
So she's British. But it's I know she's trying to. You said she was trying to do an American accent. Yeah. I didn't get that. I thought it sounded like Sansa to me. She sounded like Sansa Stark to me the whole time. I don't think she's capable of doing like really like anything else other than playing like a British person. I don't think so. I don't think.
I mean, there were spotty moments where her
she sounded too much like Sansa, especially like the complaining stuff, the dreams.
Well, I think her acting choices. I think her acting choices were very similar to Game of Thrones.
She looked like her. That was about it and stuff. Her powers weren't being utilized. It goes back to the director and that, not slam on her.
Who else? Nightcrawler. We had a new Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. I mean, he was worse than the other dude they had. Like, the first dude they had as Nightcrawler was really good. They had him playing him. This guy here, I didn't like him at all. The utilization of his powers were pretty good. I thought they were. I thought like he had
gets
that.
Nightcrawler.
He had that in the second one. He had that in the second.
Nightcrawler.
Like he teleports and stuff like this and that. And whatnot. But also he's also very acrobatic and stuff. The way he moves and stuff because he's pretty strong. He's acrobatic and stuff. I thought, because he understands. He was in a circus. What is he doing? Saying he's doing acrobatic things. So he understands that. So I thought that was good.
He was kind of like almost the part comic relief of this film. Like I felt like I actually
stumbled upon an episode of one of the Xmen. It's like Wolverine and Xmen back in the day.
Yeah.
I seen like their version of Nightcrawler. This reminded me of him. Very corny. Very like it's just like he just didn't fit in.
Yeah. I like the X2 version because there was already time built in for him to become that very peaceful.
He had the great accent and stuff. This kid's
I feel like
here,
this is
like
I feel like that's the problem when you introduce some of these characters as kids. Is like you haven't given them enough time to grow. So us getting Nightcrawler at age 15, you're like, well, he can't. Even when he was praying, like every time something was happening, he was like, oh, he's like doing the sign of the cross. I'm like, yeah, you kind of just turned what is a pivotal characteristic of Nightcrawler, which is his faith, and you made it into a joke. And now this character is just like any other interchangeable character. Yeah, I was like, this Nightcrawler, his powers are cool, but as a character, I really could care less. I'm like, all right, he lives, dies. I don't really care. Yeah, and that's the difference. I was like, man, you really missed out on him being that different kind of faithful character. So yeah, to me it was like whatever.
And then there's some other characters he didn't even try at all with, like Caliban. And you know what I'm saying, like he actually at one point was a four horseman of the apocalypse.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, and I thought, okay, this is his other horseman.
Yeah.
Then he gets Psylocke and stuff, and I'm like, you just had Caliban there, but you didn't utilize him. But look, the one they established, he's a mortar mouth. He was shit and stuff.
He was just more like a businessman type.
I don't think I even want to see him and stuff. Like, they didn't even explain his powers and stuff.
Like, yeah, I didn't get that either. I was like, who is this guy? Why is he? Why is he this?
Like,
he was a throwaway.
Yeah, he's just a Morlock and stuff.
What about Havoc and Havoc dying in this movie?
Havoc being older than Cyclops still trips me the fuck out. He's his younger brother. What the fuck are they thinking? Him being more wise and more more this and that. And Cyclops is fucking, it bothers me. And the fact they killed him, I'm like, listen, good. Fuck him. Like, at this point, I love that character, but I hate him in these films and stuff. Good. I just do what he did in the third film. Kill them all off. Like, do all that favor.
I forgot about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like kill them all off, man. Like, why stop there? Like, do all of them. Let's just reboot the whole damn thing. You know,
what about Psylocke?
Psylocke. Okay, I hate Olivia Munn. This film, any film. Like, the most, like, decent film I thought she's ever been in, but I could tolerate her, was Deliver Us from Evil and stuff, because I love that film.
She was in that, yeah.
But I really hate her. Like, I hate her as a person. I hate her as a character. No, I really do, because, you know, listen, like, this is a type of chick that she's the type of chick, she sleeps her way in Hollywood and stuff. And if you do some backstory on her, like her, you know, going after Timberlake when he was with Jessica Biel, you know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what she does. I don't like her. I really don't
Psylocke.
like her.
Let's take
she's
Psylocke.
Annoying. Okay, as far as Psylocke goes, she's another one. She complained about her character. She complained about her outfit. Oh my God, it's too tight and stuff. It's too uncomfortably tight. Chick, this is not the first time you wore anything tight. So let's not go out there and make it like it's the tightest thing you ever wore. Okay, and it's too revealing. Are you kidding me? Okay. Like you were host of Tactical the Show and stuff, and when you were hosting that, you would dress up like as Princess Leia and the whole, you know, the outfit she had in the third film, okay? And the fact you're complaining about that, like, come on, chick. You're so lucky to be in this film, to be Psylocke. And also, you're not as hot as Psylocke. You're not. Like, you were talking about one of the most, like, the hottest character in comic book history. Okay, and this is the best you could do is her? You kidding me?
Well, I think the problem was her costume looked like a cosplay. Like, I've seen cosplays have better costumes than the one that
I had a picture of a cosplay girl. Remember the one who dressed like Psylocke? She looked more like Psylocke. Like, why didn't you get her?
I think the problem with this character, again, goes back to she was very much like, I don't know who this character is. She's a wild card. You know, she has this ability where she's able to kind of have a thing come out.
Where she had the sword. It's like
once again, don't get me wrong. I know what her character is. I'm looking at it as a regular viewer. I'm like, I don't know who this character is.
Her powers have changed throughout like the years and whatnot, but what they should have had is the basic version of her, which is a psychic knife and stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Not the sword, not using the whip, not any of this other stuff, okay? Yeah. And also, if you're whipping things and stuff and you're smashing out walls, the minute you got beasts around the throat like this, okay? He should have been decapitated with that. He should have, especially without even really trying and stuff. The fact you have that, if it's doing that to the wall, if you have it around here, he should have been decapitated. So I hated her powers. I hated his utilization of that. But once again, she's a physical character. He utilized a little bit better than everybody else. But you had told me she went through all this.
This is the problem I had, is like she was on Instagram and everything showing this really badass training that she had. I was like, oh wow, okay. You know, she was doing these judo kicks, she was using these swords, she was flipping the swords. I was like, wow, it looks like Psylocke is gonna have a pretty interesting fight scene coming up in the movie. And I'm watching the movie, I'm like, where did that 3 months of sword and fight training go? Because I did not see her use any of that in the film. If anything, everything was CGI. Her falling, jumping onto the planes, you know, falling from the plane. Her like there was really nothing there that I was any of that training. All that training was wasted. I mean, wasted.
You're fighting beasts and stuff, and it's the best thing you could do when it comes to action with her, Brian. Like, really?
It's just choke. It's just like a choke, and that's it.
Like this little action you have her going through. Like, she's a ninja, dude. Like, understand that. Like, you know, like. Can you process that? I don't
well, it looks like the fight choreographers were processing that, and I don't know what happened. Maybe it got cut because of budget or cut for time. But looking at the film, I was like, I don't see any of that training.
And that psychic knife would have been so good in a lot of scenes. I'm watching this. I'm like, that would have been so good if she could have used that. She used her telepathic abilities to like read Beast's mood, but they never established her as a telepath.
That's what I was waiting for.
They're like he was making up shit as he goes. Like, listen, this is her abilities. That's, you know, this is what's gonna be. Fuck the rest, because I don't know how to use that. I don't know how to use that. Like, I have no clue. This is what her abilities are gonna be, and that's the thing that really upsets me with him and him utilizing his characters. Angel, another one. Oh, he goes out there. They're showing him with his wings in the beginning. He has a talent at the edge of his wings. Original Angel didn't have that. I don't understand why he felt like the need to put that there. The dude has those wings. He doesn't need a talent to smash somebody. Those wings there is like an ostrich who hits you with his wing. People don't know ostriches' wings are very strong. They hit you with the wing, they could break your arm. You know what I'm saying? He has these wings that are equivalent of that, okay? He has, he has enhanced eyesight. You know what I'm saying? He's a very capable combatant. You don't need to give him a talent and stuff, okay? And then when you had him as Archangel, and this is what Pox made him. Which, by the way, he uses a device to make his 4 horsemen. I don't know, but he had the ability to make it. This is the Ren of the Xmen film. This is no, I mean, come on, he could do whatever like her. But the bottom line is that even when he was Archangel and they had him with his metallic wings and he demonstrates he could go ahead and fling out some of the feathers, right?
Quills,
like Archangel does, right? But he doesn't do this in the fight. He doesn't do this in the fight, and then they don't have him with the blue face or the purple face. I can't remember what color.
It was like a blue and purplish. Yeah.
So
well, here's my problem with Angel. I don't know too much about this character in the movie. He pops up in a fight. Then he pops up drunk. He's drunk for some reason because he's mad he lost the wing.
Is he even rich? I'm confused.
I don't know who he is. Like, he lives in a barn. He just chills in a barn.
Warrington III, and like we don't know.
I don't know who that guy is.
Because there was no information on this character.
Zero information
on the fact that he's a mutant. His abilities where he had wings and he could fly. Then he had talons on him. Then he gets upgraded. Okay, fine.
And he's silent. He's silent most of the time. He says a couple of words here and there. So I could care less about that character. I was like, I don't know who Angel is. I don't know the importance of this character. Oh, he's mechanical now. Okay, cool. I don't give a shit about this character because I don't know who this is. And knowing the comics and knowing how important his storyline is and how much
the original X-Men,
the original X-Men, how much story you could have got from them, like. Really? You got this throwaway... He's a throwaway character.
And then he kills him off.
And he kills him
One
off.
of the original X-Men you just killed off because you have no clue how to utilize them because you're an idiot at the end of the day. You know? Storm, another one.
Well, that's another one.
Listen, he messed her up when she was Holly Berry. He messed her up now when she's this chick and
She was like a street rat. She was like, I don't know what she was. She was like...
listen, at one point, I believe Storm was one of the 4 horsemen. But this is not the 4 horsemen she should have been from this one. Not to be introduced as that. She should have been one of one of the X-Men, like, as a class member.
But wasn't she part of, like, a powerful African tribe? Like, wasn't that her story?
From Black Panther's tribe.
Right?
Yeah. She's from his country and in Wakanda and stuff and
in this movie she's like a street rat in Egypt, I guess, or
she's Egyptian now. She's Egyptian because he's gonna make up shit as it goes because it just makes sense. Listen, Apocalypse is in Egypt. She's gonna be in Egypt too, kid. It just makes sense. Listen,
and her white hair comes from
and it comes from him because he makes her horseman and stuff, and she gets the white hair.
He loves doing that because remember Rogue got that from Magneto.
Oh yeah, he
loves doing white hair. Girls getting white hair from men.
Yeah, from men and stuff, or people getting bald and stuff from men too. Because apparently that's how Xavier loses hair too. It's not because his powers are so powerful that they were giving him migraine headaches that were making him prematurely bald and stuff. No, he got it from Apocalypse. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes sense. This Apocalypse is gonna mess with you. You're gonna come out looking totally different like that. Every time.
And the Storm character is another character. Like there were parts of her where I'm like, okay, I can see that she's a good guy, but her utilization of powers, her characteristic wasn't really. Like, it was too weird. I was like, she's a good guy, but she's a bad guy, but she's a good... Like, I was like, this is just too confusing. I don't like this character.
Man. Once again, hero worshipping of Mystique is just insane. This character, hero worshipping Mystique, is just insane to me. She's the good guy. I don't get that. Magneto, another one. You could talk more about the character than I can. I'm just going to talk about his powers.
Well, yeah, let me quickly say, the only person that really came to play, that it seems like in this whole movie, was Michael Fassbender. Because I thought the scene wherein his wife and child are about to get killed, and after they get killed,
he's a great actor.
That was the only part of this movie where I actually like leaned up a little bit. I was like, this is some acting going on right here.
Listen, he's a great actor. Like, he could definitely be Magneto. Unfortunately, he's working with the wrong people and stuff. Which is a shame and stuff.
Because that was acting, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, as far as an actor goes, like he's I think he's probably he's tops from the whole crew, all of them. I feel like he's definitely the best.
He came to play. Unfortunately, it was a shitty script, but he came to play.
I mean, this is a guy probably act good in a friggin' Michael Bay film. This guy's notorious for taking high quality actors and making them look like shit. But
so as acting, that's what I thought. But as power, using
as
power
powers,
abilities,
once again, he's confused on the character because once again he looks at it. This is a man who controls metal and stuff, right? Well, it's not the fact he controls metal. It's magnetism he controls. Yeah. He can make a magnetic force field around him where bullets won't penetrate. Look at the animated series, dummy. Just look at the anime series, okay? he could go ahead and use magnetic bolts too. He doesn't need to have that charm. Go out there and kill these guys, and and with
the little metal object.
It's like, where's metal? Like I need some metal and stuff. I'm in the forest, but I need some kind of metal.
They should just call him Metal Man.
Dude, you're Magneto and stuff. You don't need this shit. Like but he doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
He does not understand. He's clearly confused on this man's power.
What was that scene when they were like
magnets? Well, they control their metal. That's metal. So that's what it is. So
but what was that scene when even Apocalypse was telling him, he's like, put your hand to the ground, I will amplify. What was he?
He's trying to take all like.
Was it the magnetism of the world, or was it just the metal of the world? Like I didn't understand that scene as like, you're amplifying his powers. How? What is it in the ground that you're trying to?
The ground always has like
something metallic. Was that what it was?
Yeah, I mean, there's always gold, there's silver, there's copper, there's iron.
Because I thought he was actually trying to use his magnetic powers. That's what I thought at first, but then I was like, but it seems like there's metal coming from the ground. So is it?
I mean, he's eroding all that up. Same thing in the ocean and stuff. Has a lot of heavy metals and stuff. Like, it's always like, if you drink regular tap water, there's always gonna be traces of lead in there. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
And stuff like, because there's always heavy metals. Like they always say, like heavy metals. There's heavy metals in us. There's iron in our blood and stuff, which he did in the Xmen 2 film, which is why I liked. He used the iron in the blood, took it out of the security guard. He went ahead and removed it and stuff. I thought that was pretty good utilization of powers for that film. Like, he was on point for that film when it came to that with some of the stuff. Some of the stuff. Yeah. He was still, like I said, a lot of these other characters he never got on point with. Yeah. But that was another character, he did that with. And
what was so funny too about the storyline with Magneto, it was another one where I felt like we were just repeating the same thing. Where it's like, I hate you, Xavier. I'm gonna be bad. No, actually, I fucked up. I'm gonna be sort of good now.
We're friends
again.
We're friends
for
again.
now. For now, though. For now.
The next time we'll have problems. But right now, we're friends cool. again. Okay. I don't know how often I'm gonna keep making this mistake, but we're always gonna do that. Okay.
But then let's talk about his son.
Oh my God!
The god of speed, or the god of whatever.
This dude right now, where he got him, will dust the shit out of the Flash. The Flash ain't got shit on him at this point, which is kind of crazy because the way they established his character was utilization of powers. What his powers were. Quicksilver in the original comic books, he could run up to the speed of sound, like a little bit faster than sound. Like he'd go Mach 1 and stuff and break the sound barrier. Okay. And meanwhile, the Flash could run at speeds approaching light. If not light speed and stuff. Okay. Now, then later on, the Flash got a little bit quicker in that and stuff. He go even faster in light. So, but this dude here, listen, he'll smoke the Flash. You not know that? He will smoke the Flash. I don't know why he was even on the jet plane in the first place.
He could have ran there.
You could have ran on water. You could have ran on. You could have been there. Like, where are they at? Where are they at? What he could literally done is carry each one like he did from the mansion. But you're coming here, before they, and by the time Apocalypse turns around,
they're all gone. They're gone.
No, they're right there in front of him. The whole team. That would freak me the hell out.
Let me tell you how abusive this power is. This guy goes fast, right? So the reason why he goes fast, everything slows down. So if I'm to get this right, when everything slows down, he walks. It's like he's walking regular because he's so fast, everything slows down. In this movie, everything slows down, and he's still zipping fast through everything slowing down. I'm like, is he time stopping? Is his power now time stop and speed? Like, what is happening right now?
This dude was so insanely fast that an explosion occurred, and he removed like how many people from the whole academy? Everybody who was there at that moment. He removed them all, and he also fucking with them too because he drank the guy's drink.
Yep.
He
fixed the guy's hair.
Yeah. I mean, like, it was just insane. Like, he clowning around at this moment because it's not shit to him.
It was like, I get it, like, and this goes back to, unfortunately,
he doesn't understand.
But the scene stealer from last Days of Future Past, everybody was talking about, oh, how cool it was to see that Quicksilver scene, and he in his mind, he's like, well, I gotta one up it. How do I one up it? This dude got time stop. And he's able to be fast.
Oh, but it's the 80s, so we're not going to use the 70s music no more. We're going to use the 80s.
Well, that I was like, whatever, but it was just like, I was like, how freaking fast is this dude? You made him too fast. And it was just like what you said before with Apocalypse. When he's fighting Apocalypse, and again, Apocalypse is like going slow, and this dude's like... And then he stops. No, then he stops. He's like, no, I'll punch you regular because everything's slow when I punch. But then I'm going to zip around. I'm like... Choose one.
And
Are you
I don't
that
even know
fast?
how. I don't even know how the hell Apocalypse even caught him.
Yeah.
Stuff, you know?
I was like, this guy's a god. This is the goddess. If anything, Apocalypse should have been like, I'm going to be in your body. Because if I'm in your body, I don't need to teleport anymore. I don't, like, I could just go
Listen,
up to people.
I'll break the time barrier in your
I'll
body.
go to the past.
And I'll recorrect that moment when they did me dirty and stuff.
Oh, man. Too powerful. That whole storyline with him trying to tell Magneto and not tell Magneto, I was like, whatever.
It's like you have an opportunity to get this guy on your team now and stuff because he needs. Well, what about you?
What
do you even care? Like, who is he to you? You know, what do you got to say? You know, all you have to say is like, and you did that Star Wars reference before to make fun of the third Xmen film.
Yeah.
You could have done another Star Wars reference. I'm your son. You know what I'm saying? Like you really want to go there.
I'm your son. You know,
but it's just like insane.
Too powerful. It's too crazy. The movie should have ended with Quicksilver being that crazy quick. Like it was. Just
I don't understand. Like if now he's gonna try to, because he broke his leg and stuff. So now, but he was walking at the end fine. So I don't know if this is gonna slow him down. Hopefully, I don't know.
No, it doesn't look like it. At the end of the film, he was, he had the get up. He had every costume. I was just like, all right, well, I guess this dude is fast. Yeah, I mean everybody else is pretty much the same old beast as Hank McCoy. Most of the time, he's not really Beast.
No, he's goes back. The actor is more important than Beast. Even though he's an original X-Men. That's the thing that I never got.
Yeah, and again, it was one of those things that I was just like, he's there, he's there. He's Hank McCoy more than he is Beast.
Yeah, they showed Jubilee and stuff briefly and stuff. And,
very briefly.
You know, I guess she's gonna be the team now in the '90s version.
And Xavier, I like what's his name as an actor, McAvoy. I just felt like he was too cool for school in this film. Like, I never really got the smart Professor Xavier. I just felt he was very like, hi, how's it going? I'm Professor Xavier. Yeah, there were moments where he was the professor, but I felt like it was so flip-flop that I wish that they, again, established these characters earlier so it doesn't look so sudden. Like, I bet you in the next film, Scott Summers all of a sudden is going to be somewhat of a leader, which I doubt.
No, I doubt.
Because Brian Singer never does that. But let's just say he does. It would just be weird for that character to do that now.
Well, also, he doesn't know how to make a team. Like, his closest thing to a team-up battle. Yeah. At the end, which he ripped off from Age of Ultron. Okay, when they were all attacking Apocalypse at the same time. When he's using his Arctic blast and storms coming down, raining down the Fury with her lightning and stuff, and and Jean's, going ahead and using kinetic energy on him and stuff, and like they're all just, Magneto's going ahead and trying to get him with his magnetic powers and stuff, trying to protrude through him. That's their closest thing they had, and he ripped that off. As them being a team, and he ripped that off of Age of Apocalypse.
Age of Ultron. You
mean. Yeah. I mean, Age this was Apocalypse.
Age.
Yeah. But at the end of the day and stuff, it's like I
didn't feel like they were a team. Yeah, I was like,
that's just the best you got, dude, because you don't know how to make a good comic book team up scene. You're not good at that. And I'm gonna take it from some other scene from another movie that predates this film and stuff. And that's gonna be my, making them a team and stuff. He doesn't know what he's doing. And even he doesn't know what he's doing. It doesn't matter what character he has in the future in the where they're gonna go in the 90s now. Yeah. It doesn't matter what they're gonna have. It doesn't matter. Because Wolverine's probably gonna be in that version, and he's gonna be their leader. And who's gonna be, or if it's not him, it's gonna be Mystique, because now she's their leader. And what, she doesn't give a shit. She doesn't give. And the way they establish her character from day one, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
for me, because she's gonna go back to that version. I guarantee that.
Well, I think also at the end when they actually had the team, I'm looking at the team and I'm like, you're not gonna utilize them, because I guarantee you in the second movie we're gonna have a moment where the team is separate, or because that happens in every X-Men movie. It's like, we have to watch over the younger kids here at the school, or we are the younger kids and we're getting into mischief. So this team that they're building at the end, I'm like, I don't think that they're going to use them correctly in the next film, because he just, like you said, he doesn't know how to use an actual team fight. So I mean, as far as characters, I think we went over all the characters.
Stryker, I was no one.
Oh, Stryker.
Where the hell did he come from? The mansion blows up, and all of a sudden he knows that the mansion is gonna blow up, I guess, and he's there. I mean, I forgot about that. We can't forget about that, and that's their Wolverine tie-in. Because he needed to tie in this asshole to the film. So we're gonna get Stryker, because obviously Stryker took him at the end of this other bullshit film. So that's gonna tie that in.
And it felt so much like a tie-in, because I was like, Stryker's here? Why is Stryker here? And then they're like,
out of nowhere. It's like worse than Terminator Genesis when the fucking the John Connor character just shows up and he has a plane and shit and he's chasing after these guys. I felt like the same thing. I'm like, where the hell did you come from? The thing just blew up. Even Quicksilver, who's Godspeed, mind you, you know what I'm saying? The fucking God portal and stuff.
Couldn't get there in
Couldn't
time.
get there like that. But you knew.
Yeah, that was.
You knew
weird.
this was gonna happen.
That was so weird. Yeah, and again,
How
it was
convenient.
It was just a tie-in. Yeah, it was literally a tie-in. It was just like we need to get Wolverine in here somehow. Oh, okay, let's get Stryker to show up and bring those people.
Let's also establish Jean and his relationship, but never
Early
existed
on,
in the comic book, mind you. That never happened.
Yeah.
I mean, they had moments here and there, but that was about it.
But yeah, so I mean, that's characters. Any other moments or things you could think of the movie? Because I feel like, in general, to me, that's what I felt overall in this film. And it's so funny you brought that up. I feel like now that we've been exposed to comic book movies that work as straight from the comic, it's a lot easier now to look at this film and be like, this feels outdated. Like, I was watching this film, I was like, this feels like old. Like, I'm watching this film, I'm like, had this been in the early 2000s, I probably would have looked at this film and been like, all right, yeah, I mean, it's not great, but, I hope later on they can do better. But now that we've seen films that actually work, I look at this more now with even more of a stricter eye, because it's like, you can do way better than that. There's no more excuse of, this is the best that we can do to translate it to real life. It's like, no, because they've done it already and it's worked. So that's no longer an excuse. So, because I know there's some people who are like, oh, well, you really can't compare X-Men to Civil War or to other films.
It's
like,
it's
its own
it's
film.
based off comic book characters and Marvel characters on top of that. You can do that. I can't compare this Quicksilver to the Age of Ultron's Quicksilver. I can't do that. Okay, and who's more the accurate version? I could do that.
Well, it's not even that. You just go back to the comics.
Listen, I could question why at the end of the fucking film, why is the Sentinels there with them?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I forgot about that. They were supposed to get rid of the Sentinels.
Like, the one thing that could fucking kill you guys, like, this, like your number one, your biggest taboo thing for you guys. Literally, the whole purpose of them is to kill you guys. You're gonna have them? Like, really?
Well, I think that was Cerebro. I think Cerebro created those Sentinels as part of their, how they always have the training room, like, they're not supposed to really be there, but the fact that they're still there and exist, like, I'm like, well, wasn't that the point? Like, you wanted to get rid of.
We don't know. This guy's crazy, mind you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. To him, he probably thinks they are an X-Men team. It would be good. Then other team members of X-Men will be Sentinels. Like, that'll be great. Like, imagine that, Sentinels. Like, imagine.
I want a team of all Sentinels.
And you see them riding on top of Sentinels and stuff into battle and stuff against who knows who the fuck the enemy is gonna be at the end, because at the end of their tie-in, like, they show at the end credit scenes and stuff. Yeah, it's just really Weapon X stuff, and I'm like, are you hinting at another Wolverine film? Yeah. Is this X-Men Wolverine or Wolverine and X-Men? I'm confused. But
so yeah, overall, it was just like, again, it just had an old feel to it. I felt it was outdated. Like, you can't use that excuse anymore of, this is the best we can do. And even when they try to go some way direct from the comic, it felt cheesy. Like I said, the way people spoke, the close-up shots of people when things were happening felt kind of cheesy, where they're just turning to camera, looking at camera, slow motion. Like, all of this stuff felt old. Like, I was like, this doesn't work anymore. You can make the right type of film now.
It's older in the era that they were portraying in the film. I mean, at the end of the day, that's been done. Listen, new film, same old crap.
Yeah.
That's what I look at. I'm like, if I had to put that on a poster, like, like,
new cast, same old crap.
Same old crap. Listen, you're gonna get what you're gonna get with us, because you're not gonna get anything different. Because for him, there's no point in giving you anything different, because it's a comic book movie. Because like I said, he didn't want to do this, and it was evident he didn't want to do another X-Men film. Doesn't want to do the X-Men films, period. It's evident the people who are in the film don't really want to be in the film. And some of these people are new to the films. Yeah. And they still didn't want to be in the film, and I'm confused on that.
Well, no, I mean, there was some...
Olivia Munn, she was bitching about her costume the whole time in the film.
Bitching about costume and not wanting to be in the film is two separate things. I feel like she wanted to be in the film. She was just upset about how the costume looked. It's the same thing with, some of the new cast. Is like, yeah, there's probably some things people complain about, but it doesn't necessarily mean they don't want to be in it.
Yeah, but it goes back to this. If you're complaining about the costume and this person's complaining about this person's complaining about that, have you guys ever bothered to pick up a comic book and see, like, wait a second, Psylocke dresses like this. She's actually more, her costume's more revealing and skimpy than what they have me in. So actually, you know what? This is a blessing. It's a godsend they're giving me.
I think some of these actors are. I don't think it's more complaining. I think it's just like, oh, what was a trying time? Like, I feel like their complaining is not.
You're giving them too much.
Well, no, like, I've seen some of these interviews, and they're not complaining like, oh, this was the worst. It was just like, oh yeah, it was pretty rough. I don't think that they were complaining about the costume. But
even
in that
them
way.
going ahead and saying that, it's like,
come on. I don't put that against them. Again, it's at the end of the day, the costumes look like shit anyway. So I can't fault them for saying the costumes were a little rough, because name me one costume in the entire film that you were like, oh, that's a pretty good costume.
When they were dressed as regular like attire,
yeah,
like the 80s. I'm like, that's good.
Because the new costumes they had at the end was crap. The costumes that they put when they were in the jet hangar, they're like, oh, cool.
Freaking even Wolverine's Weapon X costume.
Oh, you saw that? Like... He had like Google Glass like fucking helmet. I was like, you can't put the visor helmet? You're telling me that's too comic book to make it real life? Like that cool visor he had on? He pretty much had everything else. Magneto's new costume looks shitty. Everybody's new costume. I was just like, this... So that's why when they're complaining about costumes, it's like, yeah, I seen the costumes you guys are in. I don't blame you. But yeah, overall, I don't even know what would you give this movie? What would you rate this movie out of?
I mean, listen, like I said, I give, like, if it was an X-Men film, I probably would have gave it maybe about a 3. But because it's an X-Men film, I got angry, and like the Batman vs Superman review.
Yeah.
When a film makes me angry.
Yeah.
Okay, I give it my lowest score ever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That means I give it no score. It doesn't get a 1. It gets a 0. Okay? Because a film should not make you angry and stuff. A film should not make you like real disappointed. A film should not make you want to feel like you're gonna want to just get up and walk away from it and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's at the end of the day. It should not make you want to feel any of these things. And if it makes me feel that kind of emotion, listen, I've seen some bad films, you know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of bad films. Look, there's a lot of bad comic book films, okay?
Yeah, there's a lot of bad films in general, too, yeah.
Yeah, Suicide Squad's gonna come out. I know that's gonna be bad. But will it make me...
Don't give it away yet. No.
Listen, will it make me angry, okay? Listen, like, it shouldn't. Ghostbusters is about... it just came out, you know what I'm saying? But will that really make me angry if I saw it? You know? And what makes me angry is when I love certain, like, these characters and the storyline. X-Men is, like, one of my favorite storylines of all time. They got some of my favorite characters in it and stuff. And when they're not utilizing them right, when you got people don't care, of the film they're in, and then you got no one's questioning the director, no one's getting the source material and stuff, and no one who has the same kind of passion and enthusiasm as I have, and the fact that, listen, you're getting paid millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And I don't care what people say. Listen, you don't have to read a comic book, this and that, da-da-da, it's not the responsibility. No, fuck that. It is your responsibility to know this shit.
Yeah.
Okay? Like I said, like, listen, they should have pride in what they do. They should have respect, not just for the film they're in, but for the fans, and mainly for me. And the fact they disrespected me when it came to how they portrayed this film and how they portrayed the characters, I take that very personal. And when you do that, you get an ultimate low. You get a 0. You get a 0.
Yeah, I mean, I have to, like, for me, when we first decided...
And everybody should give this shit a 0, because this is not an X-Men film. Okay, this is not an X-Men film.
Yeah, I think for me, when we first decided to do this review, I kind of knew that it wasn't going to be a good film, just because I didn't like Days of Future Past, and I know a lot of people, not a lot, but I know that there was a lot of, a lot of people liked it, a lot of people didn't like it. So I didn't like it. I knew going in that I wasn't going to like this. I watched it. I fell asleep and I had to watch it again. And so thinking about what you're saying, because for me it wasn't anger, for me it was disappointment. For me, honestly, was just it was like numbing. Like I watched it and I was like, this isn't X-Men, and I'm watching this film and this feels like an attempt, but it's not really the X-Men that it could be. So for me, it wasn't anger, it was disappointment. But going back to what you were saying, because originally I was going to give this a 3 out of 10. But then I was thinking, what was the
I told you about that Wolverine scene, so that has to get taken.
Knocked it down. So literally, Michael Fassbender, I want to thank you for giving this a 1 out of 10, because it's literally your performance in this film was the only reason why I continued to watch this film. Was anytime you were on screen, I was like, this guy is giving his all. He knows Magneto's character in a sense. Obviously, he's not read it, but he's like, look, I know where this character is coming from. I know how I need to act in these scenes, and I have to give it 100%. Even if he's misguided by Bryan Singer, whatever Bryan Singer told him, he took it to heart and was like, "Oh, that's Magneto. Got it. I'm gonna give you 100% in this role." So just for that one actor, I give this a 1 out of 10. So thank you, Michael Fassbender, for making me watch this film. Because if it wasn't for you, I probably would have given this a 0 out of 10. Because if his performance wasn't there, there would be no reason for me to even watch that film. So the only thing I could hope for is Marvel's acquisition of this franchise eventually, hopefully, because if Bryan Singer's doing another film, I don't see my next review for their next film that's going to be in the 90s going to change, or the one after that, or the one after that, because it's like it's going to be same old. So I'm hoping Marvel acquires the rights and brings X-Men to what they should be, which is a way better team, a way better storyline, and less about Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique and more about the X-Men, the original X-Men, and about how mutant society is, and they kind of hinted at it in most of these films, that mutant society is kind of what do you call that? It's kind of a way to talk about racism, because that was the whole reason why they made this comic book, was a way to shed light on racism and sexism and all this stuff that it's taboo to talk about, and they found a way to talk about it. And I feel like once they go back to that and mix that with the super powered, a good team of different characters that you care about, then you'll get the X-Men film that you'll see the difference. I mean, if they do that film, it's night and day. Trust me, you will see the difference. If you thought this X-Men film is good, I want to see those people's faces when they get the X-Men film. People will start crying on how good that film will be.
Like Spider-Man, and then see him in Civil War.
Exactly. When you were like, oh, Spider-Man's cool, and then you see Spider-Man Civil War, you're like, oh, whoa. It's like, yes, exactly. And it's just like you said, Captain America. When you first see Captain America in the first Avenger, and then you see him in Winter Soldier, and you see him in Civil War, you're like, whoa, Captain America could do that. That's what you guys are going to say about X-Men. Whoa, X-Men could do that? Oh, Cyclops could do that? So until then, we'll just have to sit and wait until this flops. So that's our review. What did you think about it? Leave your comments. Let us know if we missed anything that you thought you didn't like or liked about the film. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Follow us on Twitter at Convo _Convo. I'm going to get that right one of these days. And as we always say, we'll see you later.